Lifestyle. We're going to get going. We're going to see who's hopping on. And today I want to essentially just show you another one of these phone calls that I did with another Speak Pro Academy member. This Speak Pro Academy member, he was essentially switching from just getting paid gigs to selling more of his expertise. And so this is what I want to talk about in terms of kind of pivoting and, well, just listen to the whole conversation. So I'll wait a few seconds for people to hop on. But like I said, this whole thing, it's really just a conversation me and another member was having about just his brand, his expert brand, and just how to sell more. I want you to pay close attention to the details about how this is very specific to him. Whenever you're obviously marketing yourself, you have to do things that are very specific to you. This is why, I remember a while ago when I first started Speaking Lifestyle, as a matter of fact, I would always talk about how I was a mentalist, an entertainer. And every speaker would say, they'd email me, say, Benji, I want to speak, but I'm not a mentalist. I don't do that entertainment stuff that you do. And I would tell them, well, that's the point. The whole point is that you don't do what I do. The whole point is that I'm positioning myself in a way that's hard for you to duplicate what I do. And that's ultimately what you're trying to do when you're building a personal brand, when you're building that expert brand. That's what you're really trying to do. So let's see who's hopping on. What's up, Maggie, Wani, Micah, Paul, McBride, Sean McBride, WWE. All right, so we're going to get going. This is like I said, this is a conversation between me and another Speak Pro Academy member about his personal brand and just how he's transitioning. So listen really close to this whole conversation. Let's get going. Yes. So what do you need help with?
So I think biggest thing, Benji, is probably, so as you know, I kind of switched out. I was really pushing for the public speaking and I won't bore you with all the details, but basically I switched into more of the personal branding. And so right now I'm putting together a program that's it's geared towards busy business professionals. A lot of my career I've been involved with executive coaching, executive wellness coaching. So using that experience, I'm kind of taking off with it and creating a program that is, like I said, designed more for the busy business professional. It's called Freaky Fast Fitness. Okay. And it's designed to give a full body workout in 30 minutes or less. And it's actually a course. There's 12 units to it, quote unquote. And they're super fast. And I've packaged it all up. I mean, it's all done. I went through the industry icon. And so really, I'd love for you just to look at my website and any insights that you have on that, and I think that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah. So first thing that I see with the website is you want to. When I go there, I see the image where it's just you, but you want to focus on what's the specific problem that you're solving for them, and you post that immediately on the website. So when I go there, it's kind of like I should see something that says, get six-pack abs. I should see something like that instantly. And so here let me click on the Freaky Fast Track Fitness one. So what's the main problem this helps with? So what exactly would you post in terms of the main problem with this?
Getting a professionally designed workout in less than a half hour is pretty much what it comes down to for that first product.
Okay, so maybe something like 30-minute workout for busy business professionals. And so, so if you're going to do that, then everything on your website has to focus around you're the fitness trainer for the business people. You're the fitness trainer for the business professionals. And so what I would do things like, you have a picture of you in a suit all decked out, let's say this is your header. It'd be a picture of you in a suit all decked out, and then right next to it, it would, that animation where it's the caveman transforms into the person, into the human thing, or the monkey transforms into the caveman thing? You know what I'm talking about? Yep. Yeah, I would have an image that where it would show or maybe not even that, but it would show you in a business suit and then you just all swole decked out and everything. And then it would say the trainer for the busy business professionals. And
hell yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah, so it would be like that. And the image, I would for sure get a professional graphic designer to make that image, because your header, you want to make it look just bomb as all hell. And so, yeah, do that. And then like even how I'm looking at your success stories, if you can figure out in terms of like what do they do for a living, and then if you can always connect their profession to the profession to fitness. So like with me, like I would have been a perfect case study for you if like we would actually work together. Because how I said, I did boxing for my fitness, and then I feel healthy as all hell at this point. And the only reason I did boxing wasn't to get six-pack abs or anything. It was just for my business. Like I wanted more energy and everything for the business. And so like that's the kind of stuff that you're going to be posting on the site and everything. But yeah, like I would position the entire site around that. And so it's more like the fitness trainer for entrepreneurs, for busy business professionals. And yeah, and then on top of that, like even the program that you have, you'd want to make sure that your program right now, I see that it's on your site. But I would probably have a separate website, and it would be geared specifically towards mobile and a tablet, because you got to remember, a busy business professional, where are they going to watch those videos? So I'll probably watch them on my phone. Like if I'm traveling, I don't really, a lot of them, they won't bring their laptops. They'll bring maybe their iPad, the iPad and the phone. And so, I mean, of course, some of them might bring their laptops, but you got to remember in terms of the phone, they got to make sure that it's really nice on the phone as well, like especially on the phone. Were you going to say something?
Oh, so, and this is, you have to forgive my ignorance on the technology side. With the separate website, so what you're saying is like the program that I have now on the griffnielsen.net, so the actual Freaky Fast Fitness, what I'm selling, that program would have to be on a separate website, and the reason for that is because then it would be mobile friendly. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, it's similar to like Speaking Lifestyle. Like I didn't put the Speak Pro Academy on Speaking Lifestyle. I created the SpeakProAcademy.com, and with that, it's like it's just on a separate website altogether. And I mean, there's a huge benefit to having it on a separate website, but yeah, you can just have it on a separate website altogether. And that's what I do. And then like because right now when I scroll over the courses and I click on it, it says, oh, this is for members only, but still, like they would click on courses and programs, or like right now you only have the one course. They would click on courses and programs, and then it would automatically just go to that separate website type thing.
Gotcha. Okay. And when it goes to a separate website, like if they click on it now, like is it not mobile friendly? Like if they were to like go to the program and pull up like a video for like their first workout, what you're saying is that it just wouldn't be mobile friendly at that point. Am I reading you right?
Well, I don't really know at this point, because I mean I can't see it from mobile, but yeah. I mean if you're using Divi, it probably is, because Divi they thought about that, so it probably is, but it's just better to have it on a separate website altogether. That way you can have the sales page for the separate website and everything, and so. Yeah, and then on top of that, like if I mean, there's going to be certain plugins that you're going to use on that separate website that you don't need on your regular website, and there's all sorts of things. But yeah, you probably do want to have it on a separate website. And when you do, you're not going to need to build it all from scratch, by the way, because the way Divi works, you can easily duplicate it. So
you can clone it.
Yeah. So, but ultimately, like your biggest thing is position yourself differently on your website. You got to position yourself as the fitness trainer for busy business professionals.
Okay. Okay. Fitness. Okay, I'm just writing it down. Okay.
And then like on top of that, it's like you're going to have to reword a lot of things, because it's like I said, like me as a business owner, I'm not thinking, oh, I want a 6-pack abs. I'm not thinking the way a regular fitness person thinks. I'm thinking the purpose of me doing boxing is for me to get a ton of oxygen to my brain so I can have a ton of energy throughout the day to grow my business. Everything is going to come down to me making more money in my business. That's what everything comes down to in terms of what you're saying. And also just like I want to live long enough to enjoy my money and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it. Okay, yeah, so I'll go through it and kind of comb through and reposition, look at my verbiage and my copy and just kind of see, really gear it towards positioning it for the busy professional. Like you're saying, I am the fitness professional for the busy professional. One thing that you wrote on the Facebook group when I asked you the question, you mentioned you wouldn't do it towards like 40 and older. You just do it more towards like the just busy in general, right? Like including like the busy mom, what have you, not just like the 4-year-old and over. Is that right?
Yeah, it would just be for business professional. I wouldn't even say busy, or maybe I'd say busy, but yeah, it would just be business professional, just entrepreneurs in general. In fact, if anything, you'll see the younger entrepreneurs are the ones who are going to pay for it because the younger generation, they're more attuned to health at this point. Like millennials spend more money on gyms than any other generation. And like literally, I just saw an article about it literally 3 days ago. It said millennials are no longer spend money on this; they're spending money on gyms and everything. And so, I mean, it's true. Like I see a lot of like millennials they're more focused about their fitness rather than people who are like 40, 50, or like 50 and above and stuff like that. And so, but still, you're not going to say like, oh, if you're 50 and under, I focus only on you. It's more a specific problem, a mindset that you're focusing on. That problem is, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a busy business professional. I don't really have time to go to the gym for 2 hours. In fact, I don't even have time to go drive to the gym and back all the time. So it's like, that's what you're really focusing on. You're focusing on how do I give them their time back?
Yeah. Here's a question for you, Benji. So you've probably gleaned from the group. I mean, I don't know my hand from my ass when it comes to technology. It's really been like a struggle, to be honest. But I'm learning, and I'm actually proud of myself because I'm getting on YouTube and I'm really just kind of digging in, and I'm not taking no for an answer. But if you were me, what would you be paying for as far as like your launch and getting ready? What I mean by that is like obviously like the graphic design, pictures. What would you do by yourself, and what would you hire out for? I hope that's not an overly vague question, but I just want to kind of speed up the process.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately it depends on how much money you have. Like, if you have a good amount of money, then you basically pay everyone to do everything for you. But if you don't have that much, then you're going to have to do as much as you can. So like with me, I can build a website faster than if I were to try to hire somebody, because I would just use Divi. And that's why I want to tell you as well. Divi also has a template for a fitness trainer. So I'd probably just use that template if I were you. But yeah, so it's almost like it kind of depends on you and your skill. Since you don't have a lot of skill with the technology, you're going to probably have to pay someone to do really cool graphic design images. And in that case, you just go to Instagram, type in graphic designer, contact one of them and say, hey, I'm a fitness trainer, and then here's some of the images that I need created. How much are you going to charge for these images? And then you just find one like that. Divi, because the way they have it, what I would really recommend is that you really don't mess with their themes. Like, don't mess with their layouts. Just literally just choose that pre-made layout and put your own pictures in it. That's it. So what you do is go to Divi, choose the fitness pre-made layout, and then count how many images you need. So you know that you need the header image. Then all of a sudden there's a video there, so you know you need a thumbnail image for that video. Then below that you see another image, and you count how many images you need. And you see, all right, I need 12 images for the homepage. I need 3 images for the about page. And then you go to a graphic designer and you say, here's exactly in fact, even better, just load that layout on your website and send the actual link to the graphic designer and say the homepage needs 11 pictures. You can see the homepage here. And then the about page needs 3 images. The so-and-so needs this. And then you tell them like how much would all this cost in terms of having really cool images done. And then he'll say it'll be X amount. And then instantly you know. And then now at that point, all you're literally going to do is just hire him, and then you're just going to take those images and literally just click a couple buttons in Divi, and poof, you instantly have a great looking website. And at that point, it comes down to you got to make sure you get the copyright, like what you're saying on the website, like the fitness trainer for busy business professionals, or and stuff like that, or fitness trainer for the entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. As far as like my website right now, from what I've gleaned so far from what you've said, get the header professionally designed. Right now, it's just a picture of me, which really doesn't say anything, and it's below the fold before you can even see the opt-in, which I don't know how to correct that, so maybe I'll have to figure that one out. And then anything beyond that, like that home page at the header, would you suggest, obviously if possible, just have the entire website professionally designed, right? I mean, if it's possible.
Yeah, I would change. Yeah, I'd change the whole thing. I would just go into go into Divi and just upload the pre-made fitness trainer layout that they have and just use that. Like that's all I do. And then at that point you're just putting your own pictures and all that. So go through Brand Builder. So click on Brand Builder in the program and go through those steps again. And I think it's like 5 steps, but really step number 1 is like get your hosting, which you already have. Step number 2 is something else that's easy. Step number 3 is where it says like, here, choose a layout, and follow steps number 3, 4, and 5, and then you'll instantly see like what to actually do. But yeah, I mean, you ultimately you just need to change the whole layout at this point, and that's what I do. I would just change the layout, and then I would just send that layout to an actual graphic designer and tell them like, hey, as you can see on the homepage, I need pictures, like 11 pictures. It needs 11 pictures. I need that. I would just do that, and then bam, like instantly you'd have a great looking website.
Okay. And so it is like it actually, and I know when you go through like the library on Divi, it'll actually say like fitness layout or something similar to that.
Yeah. I think they have like 2 of them now for fitness trainers. One of them, it actually says like fitness trainer, and then the other one maybe says like fitness classes or something like that. But yeah, like one of them is an actual fitness trainer layout, and so that one is a pretty decent looking layout.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll get going on that. As far as I know you in your videos you're saying one of the key things that most entrepreneurs can't get over is the ability to spend money on ads. Just so you know, that's not too much of a problem for me. I can fork out what I need to. What would you suggest, like going in, like with like Facebook ads and launching? I mean, how the hell do you get from nobody knows who you are to launching and start building a list? I know that's kind of a ubiquitous question, but how did you do it? Like, how do you get to that point where you get that initial traction? Was it just like paying for ads up front, or what do you do?
You're just paying for ads at that point. Like, that's all you're doing. You're paying for ads and you keep testing until something works. And in your case, I would use Instagram and YouTube. I wouldn't use Facebook. So, I mean, in order to use Instagram, you got to go through Facebook ads, but I wouldn't post Facebook ads. I would just use the Facebook Power Editor to post Instagram ads, and at the same time I would learn YouTube ads, because that's how that one dude who did the 6-pack abs thing, like the dude freaking made millions off of that, and he had that 6-pack abs YouTube video. So I would if I were you, I would focus on video for sure, your shirt off type thing, record the video like that, and that's how I do it. But yeah, ultimately it's just going to come down to you spending money. So it's like we're spending $1,000 a day, and we're trying to increase to like $5,000 a day pretty soon.
Yeah.
And so it's like that's the only way you're going to really do it, is just spending money. In the beginning, it's not going to work. And so it kind of depends on how good your ad copy is, and that's kind of what you're doing really. But that's something when you get to that point, really post that in the group. Or it's on one hand it is easy, on the other hand it's kind of hard because Facebook, they have a thing against you fitness people because like fitness people are making all sorts of claims that you can't back up. And so it's like you got to be careful about the claims that you make, but still, I'm like man, like my brother, he's a fitness guy. I told my brother, like, dude, you could freaking own this thing, but it's just a matter of your marketing, like what you're saying in the ads. But really, you are spending a lot of money on advertising, and it's the positioning. Like you're focusing on the entrepreneurs, and then little things like you're going to be newsjacking, like you're going to say. Like, oh, Grant Cardone, he's really fit. Here's the workout that I would do for Grant Cardone, and oh, here's a workout that I would create for Gary Vaynerchuk, and then even like the Avengers movies coming out. Here's the workout that I would do for a busy professional like Thor or whatever. And so it's like things like that in terms of content. There's so much that you can do with the fitness industry. It's ridiculous. And that's why I was like, damn, come on, Griff, start posting in the group. Like that's what I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, come on, man, I'm ready.
No, to be honest with you, Benji, like I've just been cranking ass every day on it, and like that's why I asked that question, because I've put a lot of the time into the technology end, and I'm learning a lot and progressing, but at the same time, I want to be able to launch and so that I can post that kind of shit, because right now it's just me in my office for literally like 10 hours a day just cranking away. So here's the question, basically like the Instagram thing. Like I'm just gonna say it, like I'm not. My demeanor is a little bit different. Like I fucking hate those Instagram. No, was it Instagram? Yeah, like selfie every other second. Like that's not me.
Yeah.
Like I fucking hate that. But it's for me. I guess my question, Benji, is like if I target like professionals and entrepreneurs, do I have to be that person that's taking selfies every 5 seconds?
No, in fact, I would tell you not to do that, because there's a guy that I follow on Instagram, because he's a friend, and I had to mute him because that's what he's posting. I don't want to go to my Instagram, see a dude like damn near half naked, 6-pack abs. Like I don't want to see that on my page. And so it's like, I would even tell you, like, no, you're not going to do that. We would come up with a whole different content strategy. Ultimately, it is the storytelling. You keep hearing storytelling. Ultimately, you would do things like, you see this guy, Benji Bruce, he was having brain fog throughout his day. Like, he's trying to work and he was having brain fog. Nothing he did was working to get rid of it. And then all of a sudden we put him on this boxing program because he didn't like doing regular cardio. He didn't want to run for 30 minutes because he thought it was boring. The Stairmaster was boring, and it was boring. So he figured, let's do boxing. And then bam, you'll show video footage of me boxing with you or something like that. And like you'll tell stories like that. And then another person, you'll say, oh, this person, they didn't really have time to even go to the gym. They didn't have time to work out at home. So I had to figure out how to include fitness throughout their regular day as they're running meetings and stuff. How do we actually get them to run meetings? So instead of them sitting down, I had them stand up all the time. And instead of them, and like you're doing all that, like you're storytelling through your Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like that.
Yeah. So that.
Hell, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
In answer to your question, it's probably like 90% plus that I'll take up on that offer and just get going for the lifetime. That's like I said, that's one hell of an offer. So, plan on that.
All right, everybody. So that was basically the call. I mean, I took out some parts of the call, but that was basically the call. So here's the thing. Here's what I find really funny. So whenever I do a live, I always look to see how many people are essentially looking at it, dropping in, dropping off. I noticed that people drop off with the most important lives, and the unimportant ones, the basic ones, the motivational ones, those are the ones everybody loves. And what I try to teach people is how to think for yourself. That's ultimately what I'm doing. So the reason why I wanted to show this live is because I wanted to show you the thinking behind what you need to do to be successful at what you want to do. And so most people, they miss the point of these videos. Most people, they don't understand that the solution is specific to them. It's one of the reasons why I keep telling people, if you're not a Speak Pro Academy member, you're going to have a hard time actually getting there by yourself, because your solution is very specific to you. Sure, there are little things that you're going to be doing that are similar, but your solution is very specific to you. So like what I said with Griff in terms of the advertising, I said, look, you want to focus mostly on video, mostly on YouTube. So forget Facebook and even Instagram. Sure, Instagram's cool, but you want to focus mostly on YouTube because that's how you're really going to advertise the whole fitness part. Facebook in general, they just hate fitness people. They just straight up hate them. And so that's why I told them, like, you got to focus on YouTube. You need to understand the level of thinking that's required in order to get to where you want to be. And it's one of the reasons why I keep showing these types of videos. So what you have to do is you have to see the similarities in another person's business and your business. If you are looking at other people who are in your industry and you're looking to see what they're doing, almost always you're going to be unsuccessful because you're not going to be thinking further than what they're doing. You're always going to be 1 step behind, 2 steps, 10 steps behind them. This is why, like speakers, there's so many unsuccessful speakers because they don't look at other industries and try to figure out what can I do or what can I use from that industry into my industry. It's one of the reasons why I tell speakers, hey, look at entertainers and look at the events that they're doing and then contact those events as well. Just because you're looking at another industry, entertainment, and you're saying, hey, I know that these events hire speakers, so let me contact, or I know that these events pay people to be there, so hey, let me contact them. And so you have to look at other industries to figure out the similarities in your own industry. It really just comes down to how you're really thinking about what it is you're doing. And so also notice in the very beginning, notice how he actually said, like, hey, I'm switching to the expert type thing. In the beginning, when he joined the Speak Pro Academy, it was just about getting paid gigs, and then eventually switched to the expert type industry where he wants to sell the programs and then do all that sort of stuff. There's nothing wrong with pivoting. There's nothing wrong with pivoting, but there is no answer on when to really pivot. That's the problem, because some people, they just give up. They're like, oh, it's too hard, I'm going to do something else. That's what usually happens. And this case is very different because from the very get-go, I wanted to tell him, like, hey, you probably want to do more of the expert business, but I don't like just telling people here's what you need to do, because then it's just like me forcing it on them, kind of like the parent who says, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be an attorney. So I don't want to do that. And so you have to understand that sometimes you do need to pivot, but you need to be very aware of when are you quitting versus when are you pivoting. And that's what you really need to be aware of, because if you're quitting, what's going to happen is when you pivot, you're going to quit that thing too. That's what I noticed. And that's what I noticed with a lot of speakers. They realize it's really hard to get on a stage. You're like, oh, damn, it's so hard. I don't have much for the website and all this. And I'm contacting events. It's not working. Oh, it's not working. Let me go do this content marketing stuff. Let me go produce some content. And then what happens, because they quit over here, they just don't understand that this is actually harder. Like, building an expert brand is harder than getting on stages. People don't believe me, but trust me, it's harder. I mean, there's a lot more to fear in terms of, like, you're going to be spending money, you're going to lose money, you're going to be producing content, wasting a lot of your time. Just a lot of things. It's a lot harder to do the expert-based business. And so people tend to quit over here, and then they go over here because they think it's easier, because they see Gary Vaynerchuk. They think it's easier, and then before they know it, they quit that as well. And so you have to understand the difference between pivoting and actually just pivoting and quitting. Just understand the difference between those. And then also notice that in the very beginning of the call, I asked him, I was like, what's the problem that you solve? And this is where you always start with anything you do. You always start with the problem. And you start with the problem, but then you figure out the positioning of the problem. So notice with him, I said, okay, what's the problem? Basically, it's fitness, right? So he's like, I train you with fitness. It doesn't take a lot of time for me to train you. And then it's just a matter of the right positioning. So in this case, we were thinking positioning for the busy business professional. So you're an entrepreneur, you're a business professional. You don't have time to go to the gym for 2 hours twice a day. You don't have time to do all that sort of stuff. So it's just a matter of positioning it right, because the better you are at positioning and the better you are at describing exactly what the problem is in that position, in the brand, the more likely people think that you have the solution to what it is their problem is. And that's why they're going to buy. So that's why I really talked about the busy business professional and positioning it that way. I was literally just talking about this what's today? Yeah. I was talking about this on Saturday with somebody. Basically, he started a marijuana business. Like, he's partners with someone in the marijuana business. And I said, like, man, you marijuana guys are going to get destroyed when real marketers come in. Because right now, the marijuana industry it's a rising tide, and rising tides raise all boats. And, marijuana people, they all suck at marketing. Every single one of them. They suck because all marijuana is the same. Like, you go into a weed store, they're all the same. You say, hey, I want to go to sleep or whatever. All they do with marijuana, they say there's two different ones. There's sativa. No, there's three different ones. Sativa, indica, and a hybrid. And so I said, you guys are horrible with marketing because you go in there and everyone's the same. They differentiate based on taste. Like, this one tastes like orange. This one tastes like vanilla. This one is whatever. And that's all they do. But when real marketers come in, real marketers are going to own the industry. Real marketers are going to position it as, look, this is the midnight weed. If you need help going to sleep, you use this one. This is the workout weed. This doesn't get you high. It just kind of numbs you a little bit so you can work out harder. And the real positioning in marijuana is going to happen that way when real marketers come into the industry, and real marketers are going to destroy everybody in that industry. And so you have to start with the problem, then you figure out the positioning of that business. And so that's what you're really trying to do. And also what you're doing is you're focusing on what's your previous experience and using that. You do that because it's going to be hard for other people to duplicate what it is you're doing. So in my case, the reason why I would talk about the whole mentalism entertainment is because it's really hard for someone to duplicate that. Most entertainers, they suck at marketing. So I'm not worried about entertainers who also do mentalism. I'm not worried about them coming in and stealing my thunder because they suck at marketing. So I'm not worried about them. The great marketers, they're not entertainers. Like, they don't do the mentalism. So once again, I'm not worried about them. It's just a matter of how do you combine the two. And you figure out what's your past, and then you figure out, how do I use this? That way it's hard for other people to duplicate what I do. And that's what you're really trying to do. And then also in terms of the marketing, notice in terms of the marketing materials that we were talking about you have to have the marketing materials that fit into the brand. So in his case, he's doing this for busy business professionals. So what do you think? All right, entrepreneurs, you got to wear a suit, you got to look all professional. And then the next shot, so I would have something like this. It'd be like this with a suit, right? So I'd be wearing a suit like this. And then the other part of me would be this way, except maybe I probably wouldn't have a shirt on, and I'd just be all cut and swollen and everything. And it would just be like back to back, or maybe not even that. It would just be front facing. Like maybe one, I'd just be standing there like this. And then the other one, it'd be like just all 6-pack abs, just like, right? And so what you're trying to do with your marketing materials, you're just focusing on the brand, the positioning, and then you build the marketing materials around that. And that's what you really have to think about. And once again, this is going to be very specific to you. Then what you do is you focus on, how does your audience word the problem? This is where, once again, a lot of fitness trainers, they're really bad at marketing. Fitness trainers, they all talk the same. Every single one of them. They're basically saying, here, we help you stay healthy. We help you lose weight. They all say the same stuff. What you do is you focus, once again, on the audience. You say, here's the audience, entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs do not want, sure, it'd be cool if they got abs or whatever, but that's not what they're focused on. Entrepreneurs, they're focused on getting their time back. They don't want to stay in the gym for 2 hours. They don't want that. They want energy throughout the day. They don't want to have to think about, I don't want to spend an hour cooking my meals. Like, I don't want to spend an hour doing that. They're thinking about time. So you figure out how does your audience word your specific problem, and then you use those words in your marketing. That's what you're really doing, ultimately with your marketing. And also notice, when it comes to the problem, you're focusing not really on the demographics, not on basic stuff like that. Because remember how he said the whole like 40 and over or 40 and under thing? It doesn't really matter what age or anything like that. What you're really doing is you're focusing on the specific problem. Now, the problem is usually a mental problem. And a lot of times it can be like based on age and things like that. Like, say, for example, in real estate, downsizing. If I was a realtor, and let's say I positioned myself as the downsizing realtor, more often than not, the people who downsize a house, they're usually the older generation. They're old. They're done. They're like 60 and up, and they're downsizing because their kids have gone off to college, and their kids are gone. Their kids are grown up and everything, so they no longer need a 5-bedroom house. Now they're just trying to downsize to a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or whatever. So of course it will have like an age range, but once again, you're focusing more on the specific mental problem that you're solving, and that will naturally bring in the right people. Now, also notice in terms of the problem that he mentioned in terms of like, hey, I suck at technology. What do I do? Like, should I hire people? Should I learn it? Like, what do I do? Ultimately, when it comes to technology, there's only two things you can do. You either hire somebody or you learn it. There is no other option. It doesn't matter if you suck at technology, if you're great at technology. It doesn't matter. If you suck at it and you can't afford to hire somebody, you better learn it. There is no other option. There just isn't. And so you either learn it or you hire somebody. There's kind of no option. And what you're really trying to do is you're thinking along the lines of, if you suck at it, you do want to pay somebody, but if you don't have a lot of money to pay, what you're really trying to do is you're trying to figure out what's probably the most important thing that I need to get done. Like what's the most important thing that'll probably generate the revenue? And like, let's say the website or something. And so let's say you're doing the website and you just suck at it. You're like, I don't know how to build a freaking website. And ultimately, you're just going to pay somebody to do, let's say, the graphics of the website. You just pay them to do the graphics, go to Instagram. My best thing for hiring people is Instagram. I go to Instagram. Let's say I need a graphic designer. I go there, type in graphic designer. I look at all the images. I'm like, damn, that looks cool. And I send that person a DM. I'm like, hey, I love your graphics. Like, I actually got this job for you. That's what I do, because it's really easy to do that. Of course, you can use websites like Upwork and all that sort of stuff, but based on the specific job, I usually just go to Instagram to hire people. And so there is no real answer in terms of like, what do you do versus what do you hire out? If you can do something really quick, then hey, maybe you should just do it. Like, for example, I mentioned in terms of the website, I can do websites quick as all hell just because of the theme. I can spend less time just building the damn website versus if I go to Upwork and I find somebody to do the website. Like, I actually spend less time doing it. So I got to go there. I got to now figure out what's the ad I'm going to write. All right, now they're going to respond. I got to interview them. That's going to take up more time than if I just built the damn website myself. And so there is no real answer to that. And then also notice in terms of what he said about the fear of spending money. This is what I constantly tell people. It's one of the reasons why people don't believe me when I say building an expert-based business is harder than just getting on a stage. Because getting on a stage, you do two things. You build a website, you do outreach. That's all you do. But if you're building an expert-based business, there's so much out there in terms of what it is you need to do. You don't know what to get done first. And then on top of that, you're probably not going to do it the right way to begin with. Then there's going to be a lot of things like the fear of spending money. Fear of spending money is going to hold you back from actually making any money. If you are afraid to spend money on advertising, you simply will not make money in the expert industry. I don't care what anyone tells you, SEO, all that stuff. You will not make money if you are afraid to spend money. You have to spend money on advertising. You cannot do organic stuff. It doesn't matter how great your freaking posts are, your pictures are. It doesn't matter. If you're not spending any money, you will not make any money in the expert-based industry. So you need to overcome that fear of spending money. And then also notice what I mentioned with him in terms of newsjacking. When you're creating content, you want to ultimately think in terms of creating content that's probably the most clickbaity content, but real type of content. And so newsjacking, what you're doing with newsjacking, you're just seeing what's news, what are people talking about, and then from there, you just take that and you just figure out a way to insert it into what it is you're talking about. So, for example, like what I mentioned in terms of his fitness business, with the fitness industry, he would simply do things like he would look at the top entrepreneurs. I would do this with pretty much all the top entrepreneurs. I would say Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, who else? Ed Mylett. Like all these guys. And I would simply say, like, here's a workout that I would do for Grant Cardone. Here's a workout that I would put Gary Vaynerchuk on. Like, Gary Vaynerchuk, he needs to swole up or something, right? So I would do stuff like that. I would newsjack. That way you can actually take their name and use their name to help you get more views and everything like that. And so that's what I would really do. And then also notice what I told him about social media. Once again, a lot of fitness trainers or just a lot of people in any industry, they tend to do the same things. That's why they don't get anywhere. So that's why I keep telling people you want to look outside your industry to get ideas outside of the industry. So if you look at fitness trainers, go to Instagram, just look at any fitness trainer. What do? They post pictures of them all swole, just like, like that's what they do. And they're doing all their poses and stuff and all that sort of stuff. And it's boring, especially, well, So the women are different because the women do it. They just get a gang load of likes and followers. The men do it. You're like, I don't want to watch this. I ain't gay. Shoot, man, come on. And so what you really got to do is you got to storytell when you're posting on social media. It doesn't really matter what it is you're really doing. The better you are storytelling, the better your posts are going to be in general. That's why I told him I wouldn't post pictures of me just all swole and just abs and all that sort of stuff. I would storytell, just like what I said in terms of if we were working together, I would have him just say, yeah, I mean, there was this guy, Benji, and then he was having brain fog throughout the day as he's trying to build his business. But for some reason, I mean, he just couldn't figure out like what to do. He was trying to Stairmasters. He was doing some other cardio, but none of it was really working for him because he would get bored doing cardio. Then I put him on the boxing regimen and he loved it. He was doing boxing and oh my goodness. And so he's storytelling, and that's what's really doing it. That's what's really selling what it is he's selling. Ultimately, the reason why I wanted to show you guys this is because I want people to learn to think. That once again, these videos, when people look at these videos, they're like, oh, it's not really specific to me. Those are the people who are always unsuccessful in life every single time because they need someone to literally point out exactly how to think. If someone needs to point out how to think about your own business, you will not succeed in business. You should not need people to literally say, here's exactly why this matters to you. You shouldn't need people to do that. You should be able to pull that out yourself. You should be able to look at anything and pull it out yourself. You should be able to look at the finance industry and say, let me figure out how this actually matters to me and my business. What ideas can I get from these guys? That's what you're ultimately doing no matter what. And that's why, once again, I said from the very get-go, the videos like this that tend to be the most important, these are the ones that people don't pay attention to because they don't see how it relates to them. You need to start thinking about, I'm going to figure out how this relates to me. No matter what it is, you figure out, how am I going to relate this to me? How am I going to use this thing to make money off of it? That's what you're really doing with everything that's around you. You ultimately have to just learn to think and just remember that your solution is very specific to you. That's why, once again, if you're not a Speak Pro Academy member, what you doing? You better join Speak Pro Academy. So speakproacademy.com. Let's see if there were any questions. If there were, I'll answer. If not, then we're good to go. See, Marlon said, got to be able to define your market niche and ad manager in Facebook. It's easy, but it takes a lot of testing. Yep. Oh yeah, and that was the other thing. Like, so when you spend money on advertising, if you're building an expert-based business and you're spending money on advertising, it never works to begin with. That's why it's so fearful to spend money, because you spend money, you're gonna lose it, especially in the beginning. If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna lose that money. And so what you're doing, you're spending the money, but you have to learn from it. And that's what you really have to think about in terms of, you're just spending money, you're kind of testing, seeing what works. Oh, this image works, or this text works. And that's what you're really doing. And remember the video yesterday where I said knowledge helps you skip steps. So someone like, if you talk with a copywriter and a copywriter were to take what you do, doesn't matter what you do, what you sell, fitness stuff, you can sell cell phones, doesn't matter what you sell, a copywriter will skip steps. So when you spend money on advertising, a copywriter will look at your ad and say, no, that's a horrible ass ad. No, don't do that. A copywriter will help you skip the steps. That's why, once again, I tell people, skip steps by joining the Speak Pro Academy. So let's see if there are any other questions. Marlon said, it's really hard. I was doing the things that you do to be an expert, but I wanted to get on stage. I started getting a lot of traction, but then I realized it had nothing to do with getting on stage. It was in one of your lives that I learned my mistake and then joined the academy. At some point, I'll come back to the expert, but I wanted to be on stage first. Yeah, exactly. So like what Marlon just said, that's exactly the type of thinking that you have to engage in to get what you want. You have to basically say, here's what I want, and then you have to truly reverse engineer how to get it. The problem is, most people don't know how to reverse engineer because you haven't been there before. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, dude, you don't realize how different these industries are. It's literally like boxing and MMA. They look very similar. I mean, they're both fighting. They look similar, but a boxer will destroy the best MMA guy. It doesn't matter. An okay boxer will just destroy the best MMA guy. And the same goes over here. You put a boxer in MMA, a freaking okay MMA guy will destroy the boxer. They're two completely different things. And I know that because I've done both. And I know the daily activities are completely different. So you have to truly decide which one you want to do and then reverse engineer the actual steps you got to do, the actual steps you have to take from there. So let's see, Alex said, I spent $3,000 on Google Ads. All I've learned is how many ways there are to tweak an ad. No calls yet. So Alex, make sure you post inside the group about your ad. Post all that stuff inside the group in terms of what does your ad say? Where are they going with the ad? So I guarantee I can tell you why it's wrong. Like I guarantee if you just post in the group. Come on, Speak Pro Academy members, what you doing? You guys need to start posting in the group. You guys are spending all this money. You guys are doing this stuff. Start posting in the group about what it is you're doing, and don't just tell me what you're doing. Show me everything that you're doing. So like Alex, what you're going to do is you have to actually show me the ad. Like literally go in there, show me what's going on inside your Google ads. So say, here's the actual keywords I'm bidding on. Here's when they click on, here's the ad, the headline and all that sort of stuff. When they click on that, here's the website that they go to. And then once again, I'll help you fix it because I can see what's wrong. I know what's wrong pretty much immediately when I see things like that. All right, so we are good to go for today. All right, so I will see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. I think we are good to go. Yep, no more questions. Yep, we're good to go. All right, so I will see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Take care, everybody. Adios. Toodles.